Hi guys, welcome back to True Crime and Tarot. Today we're going to tell the tragic story of 9-year-old Omaree Varela. Omaree was killed, murdered in fact, by his own mother with the help of his stepfather on December 27th, 2013. 2 days after Christmas, this child lost his life. While his mother was beating him to death, his stepfather was in the bathroom shooting up heroin. But the stepfather did a lot of beating and abusing of Omaree himself. And Omaree had ADHD. He had some learning, developmental disabilities, but he was by no means an unsmart child. He was smart enough to not once, but twice attempt to secretly take his mother's phone and call 911. And when he made these calls, he didn't speak. He let the 911 dispatchers listen to what his parents were saying and doing to him. You will hear parts of this 911 call. It is horrific. 6 months after Omaree made the 911 call that I will be playing for you guys, he was dead. When the cops showed up to Omaree's house after he secretly called 911, they did not take him or his 2 siblings out of the home. They left them there with the 2 monsters that would eventually take his life.
At first, Omaree's stepdad told police, he wasn't home when the boy died. Later, investigators discovered that was a lie. At the very least, he heard the deadly beating, allegedly inflicted by the mother.
On national television.
No, did you see the rap sheet for him? We didn't even show you her rap sheet.
Wednesday night, CNN airing the case involving Casaus and his stepson, 9-year-old Omaree Varela. As Target 7 uncovered, the child died months after someone made a 911 call on an open line. An autopsy shows Omaree Varela was shoved, kicked, and stomped to death. His mother charged with the crime. Police believe Steve Casaus was home when it happened. It is a case that has become very familiar to New Mexico since Omaree's death last December.
Varela Casaus was released by Albuquerque police today. Listen closely as you hear the exchange between the operator and the woman police say killed Omaree. It's only on 7.
Albuquerque Police Operator 4830. How may I help you?
Yeah, I just called my son's pediatrician. My son was playing on it's a metal horse, like a rocking horse. I had just gave him his medication. He's on new medication. I'm disabled. He was playing with my 2-year-old.
Synthia Varela Casaus rambled, blaming the medication for Omaree possibly losing his balance, hitting his head, and suffering a seizure.
Hold on. How old is your son?
He's 9.
A minute and 22 seconds into the call, Varela Casaus said her son was still alive.
His head, did he stop breathing?
No, he hasn't stopped breathing, but he hit it. I tried to put cold water on him. He has ADHD and behavior problems.
Is he responding?
No, he's not responding.
Okay, let's get paramedics on the line 1 second.
The next 5 minutes, 41 seconds of the call are missing, deleted by police because private medical information was discussed.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I get your name?
Cynthia.
Cynthia, what's your last name?
Varela.
Moments later, police say they found Omaree's body cold and lifeless. When questioned by investigators, Varela Casaus said she tried to revive the boy by taking him into the shower with her, but police say both her clothes and Omaree's clothes were dry. Varela Casaus would later tell KOAT Action 7 News she was disciplining her son and kicked him the wrong way. We'll see only on 7, and we do need to warn you, parts of this report are graphic. Here's Target 7 reporter Nancy Laughlin.
Doug and Shelley, that 911 call was made last June. Omaree Varela is crying and scared. He is at the very least being verbally abused and berated. It was the second time this little boy turned to authorities for help. And the second time, those cries from a terrified child were ignored. June 22, 2013, a 911 call is made to Albuquerque police. What the adults on the call likely don't know, they're being recorded by police dispatchers.
You don't want to learn, do you? You want to live a hard life like that. Don't you, Omaree?
Things go from bad to worse when a child apparently spills food.
Right here. You make everybody sick around you, Omaree. Everybody. You make me and your mom sick, man.
The verbal abuse continues. Police trace the call to Omaree's home at 4909 Comanche Northeast.
That is not a roadburn, man. How many times I said that? Bruise either. That's not a bruise. This doesn't hurt, so don't act like it hurts. No. Everything hurts you. How can it hurt you for one day and not hurt you the next day, Omaree? It doesn't, does it? You just want attention, right? Right?
Yelling, screaming, the tirade goes on. The adults still not knowing someone has called for help.
Yeah.
The male on the recording tells the child he is not his father and he doesn't want to be. The adults scream at the boy even when he's silent. More than a dozen minutes pass and more of the same.
Not even my worst enemy got me mad at you. I never hated nobody like you in my life, ever. You know that, Omaree? I hate you more than I hated anybody in my whole life. And I've been on this earth 41 years. And nobody's ever made me feel the way you do, Omaree, ever.
6 months after that 911 call from this home, Omaree Varela is dead. Police arrested his mother, Synthia Varela Casaus.
I didn't do it. I wasn't intentionally.
What happened?
It was an accident. I was disciplining him and I kicked him the wrong way. It was an accident.
So what happened after that 911 call was made? 2 Albuquerque police officers were dispatched to the house, but it was not a priority call. No report was ever written. APD has refused to comment, but Target 7 has confirmed an internal investigation is being conducted. A spokesman for the Children and Families Department says they were not informed of this 911 call and therefore they did not do an investigation.
Good morning, Ms. Williams.
Good morning, Your Honor.
You certainly know you have an opportunity to allocate for the purposes of the court before we proceed to sentence.
My job is to do everything I can to make sure that they are safe and make sure they feel safe. This is something they did not have before or experience. In the almost 2 years since my nephew Omaree was killed, there have been so many disclosures and reports these 2 kids have talked about happening in the house with Synthia and Steve. Nevi on many occasions has talked about Esteban hitting her with a belt, punching her, kicking her. How her and Omaree would hide in a dark closet so that they could be safe from Synthia and Steve. Also at times put in the closet from them in a dark place, scared and afraid. Nevi also talked about times they would get mad at him. Steve would get mad at him. And he pointed a gun at them. Didn't shoot it. But they were scared. Nevi also talked about the scars that she had on her body, which were cigarette burns from both of them. Little Stevie has told us about Esteban hitting him with a bat and about being bit. Nevi talked about Esteban having guns under his bed, sometimes in the drawer next to the bed. They talked about being left in the car by themselves all the time while they ran into the store or ran into a house. Crying, scared, not sure what was going on. Talked about seeing needles laying around the house. All these disclosures came from these two kids while watching TV, while out in public, just randomly while we were with family, never knowing what may trigger a memory or a thought. Even that night Omaree was killed, she came to me, Auntie. I saw Mommy and Daddy punching and kicking him. They dragged him to the shower. She talks about Omaree screaming for help. She's asking them to stop. No one listened. She remembers seeing Omaree with blood on his face. She talks about sitting on the bed with Omaree as his body just lays there, not knowing if he's asleep or dead. This memory is something that causes flashbacks and nightmares to this day for both siblings. Nevi and Stevie's lives changed that night forever. Nevi and Stevie both have PTSD and are going through intensive therapy. It's been almost 2 years now and things are still hard for them. They still don't understand why their brother can't be fixed. Every day he's saying, I miss him, Auntie. I just want him back. They never got to say their last goodbyes. So we make trips to the cemetery so that they can talk to him. That in itself is hard. Because then the questions come. Auntie, why? Why, Auntie? Why can't we just dig him up and fix him? I just want to see a piece of him, Auntie. I just want to touch my brother Omaree. Then she talks about wanting to go to heaven so she can be with him.
Your Honor, this has been one of the horrificest things that I've ever had to endure in my life. People that know me, they know how much I love my family and my kids. I'm heartbroken every day dealing with this. I'll never heal from this. I miss my son and my family each and every day, my kids, Nivea and Stevie.
Well, I've done this for a long time. seen and heard a lot of things. And I'm still a bit baffled, Mr. Casaus, that if it is as you say, I think it's a bit more than a mistake. That if, as a jury saw it, that if Omaree is your son, is laying in incredible distress, and he surely must have been in incredible distress, that there wasn't some absolute immediate action on your part to make sure that that distress was lessened. And I'm finding it difficult to believe it was just a mistake. So I'm concerned about it. I think everybody in the room, I don't think that anybody disagrees with you that we wish this day had never occurred.
Court call State of New Mexico versus Synthia Varela Casaus, CR 2014-00203. Ms. Varela Casaus, in count 8 of the information, it alleges that on or about December 27, 2013, here in Bernalillo County, New Mexico, that you did murder Omaree Varela and knew that your acts created a strong probability of death or great bodily harm contrary to New Mexico law. Are those allegations true? Are those allegations true?
Yeah. I will never understand why all this happened, Your Honor. My sister will have to live with that, what she did to her child Omaree, and the pain she caused to Nibby and Stevie the rest of her life. We can never get our precious Omaree back, but we pray you will be able to help us protect his siblings from any more pain and hurt. No amount of time that is served will bring him back.